hard to believe that thousands of miles away from central Tokyo, Agnes and her family sit on a reserve of millions of cubic meters of liquefied natural gas. Papua New Guinea is a land of tremendous secrets. Ever since it was discovered by a Portuguese explorer in the 1500s, exploration and discovery have been constant in this land filled with mineral and hydrocarbon wealth. This is a story of a people made up of 1,000 tribes who speak some 800 languages. Their land they hold close to their hearts. Their ambition to attain a better future. Their government so radically captured, setting a groundswell benchmark in the exploitation of minerals and fossil fuel that this last frontier is so blessed with. Tons of gold, copper, silver, nickel, cobalt, gas and oil have been discovered and extracted, and yet more remain undiscovered. Under PNG's existing legislation, all mineral and hydrocarbon wealth lying 6 feet below surface belong to the state. Yet these wealth lie on customary owned land belonging to tribes or clans and not individually. The important task of formulating legislation and regulation of the extraction sector industries falls on government. Since gaining independence in 1975, successive governments have realized that direct foreign investment as well as the expertise and technology that come with it play an important role in maximizing the resources that have been discovered. But when the people of Papua New Guinea became aware of the wealth on their land, there were issues about landowner rights, spin-off benefits, royalties, and equity participation. Gradually, the state was seen as an enemy of the people, favoring investors. This led to the establishment and incorporation of the Mineral Resources Development Company, a 100% state-owned company. The Mineral Resources Development Company manages the state and landowners' equity interest of mineral and petroleum development projects in Papua New Guinea.
MRDC is as old as the country itself, and it has started off as a state entity that is the custodian of both the state and also the landowners. Over the last 10 years, with the dilution of its shares through oil search and origin, their role has changed significantly to just the provincial government and landowners.
Through the years, MRDC has become the interface between government, investors and landowners, resulting in a climate of stability attracting investor confidence.
From being just a passive investment where we get dividends and equities and royalties from the landowners and we just pass them to the landowners and provincial government, but over the last 8 years this has changed significantly to being a management company where we've invested some of those proceeds from the mining and petroleum, and we've been more proactive.
Today, MRDC manages a number of subsidiary companies which are basically vehicles holding trust for the distribution of benefits to landowners and provincial governments. These companies are chaired by landowners and independent government officials, ensuring transparency and accountability between government policies on mining operations, developers, and villages. They also ensure that benefits such as royalties and dividends return to their people.
After everything is gone, when You just have a hole in Oktedi, all the forests grow up in Kurubu, Moran and Gobi. You know, the lives of the people there will never be the same. The impact, how do you manage those expectations? How do you sustain those expectations? And that is where MRDC comes in, where we have to make investments so that we keep sustaining the flow of revenues and the benefits even after those projects don't exist.
Beneficiaries that come under the trust structure are incorporated land groups and major sub-clans as approved by a ministerial determination then made official through a gazette. In the petroleum sector, landowners have 2% interest at project sanction, which is free and carried by government. They also get a 2% royalty from production and a 2% development levy. In the mining sector, landowners have the option to acquire up to 5% equity interest at project sanction, which is also free and borne by the state. PNG's LNG project is an integrated development that is commercializing the gas resources of Papua New Guinea. The project cost the joint venture's partners $19 billion from concept in 2008 to first gas in 2014. Since 2014, the PNG LNG project through ExxonMobil is supplying 6.9 million tons of liquefied natural gas to customers around the world each year. The country's equity in the PNG LNG project is 16.57% share of Kumul Petroleum Holdings, MRDC and Ada Oil for the landowners. Apart from ensuring that resource owners remain partners in PNG's mining sector through payment of royalties and equities, MRDC's other core function is to make prudent investment in diversified and safe businesses to sustain income beyond the mine.
I'll give you an example. Look at Mineral Resources Oktedi number 2, which is the provincial government arm of Oktedi. Last 2 years, from 2014 and 15, when there was no dividend, we're getting income from investment that we've made outside. We're getting income in the vicinity of 12 to 15 million. We have been able to sustain the operations and make profits without Oktedi. Now, if we had done that the last 20 years, if you do the numbers, you will see that we would not need Oktedi. Even if Oktedi mine closes, that'd be life after Oktedi, because you got all this diversified investment outside of the mine. And that is the same mindset we're doing to the petroleum companies. We're starting with PRK, and if you look at PRK, over the last 8 years alone, we've grown the asset from 600 million to 1.8 billion. Its net asset is almost 1.1 billion as of 2016. And most of these assets are investment outside of the oil business. We've invested almost 80 million US in the PNG LNG project, and that's from its own cash flow. And you look at PRK, it owns almost 10% of BSP and all the other property assets. So, if Kurubu was to shut tomorrow, PRK is a classic example, or even MROT. But then the good thing is these mines are still producing, so we just have to make it even bigger so that at the end of the day, 10, 15 or 20 years after this project, there's life after this project. And that is our challenges.
Thank you. Thank you, bro. Thank you.
MRDC has also undergone many community development projects for resource owners. From building and equipping schools, providing scholarships for further education, constructing sport venues and roads, MRDC will continue to empower resource owners.
The donations been done by MRDC has benefited the hospital a lot. They've donated the ambulance, a vehicle for the hospital, and also a genset and some TV screens for the hospital. And I think that has really benefited the hospital.
To assist developers, MRDC also manages operational, technical and commercial information to ensure that all necessary approvals, acquired and land issues in PNG are adequately resolved. Through MRDC, government on the other hand has placed some attractive tax incentives to attract more developers. The various processes to invest in PNG's mining industry have been simplified and made less cumbersome. The ability of PNG's government to tailor-make its structure incentives to suit a new investor diverse is quite popular with investors. While crime and cost of security is a challenge in Papua New Guinea, things are changing for the better. The present government's policy to double the size of the police force together with the support of the Australian police force on duty in Papua New Guinea help maintain security. The fact that many world-class mines and petroleum gas developments are currently underway despite the risk proves our commitment to dealing with any challenge. MRDC is now positioned for growth. We have shifted away from being passive to a proactive investor. By diversifying our investment portfolio to the banking sector and real estate sector, the aviation sector and the tourism sector, we are confident that any improvement in the quality of life attained for our people is sustained well into the future. If you are in the mining and petroleum industry, PNG should be your next investment destination. MRDC will gladly partner with you to help you succeed. Your success means a lot to the success of a people who hold dear their land in their ambition for a better future for their children.